For this trip, I was traveling with two of my sisters. Went to the Big Island of Hawaii for about a week, and this that I'm showing you right now is just our hotel. We stayed at the Grand Naniloa in Hilo, and the reason we stayed in Hilo is because flights were cheaper to fly into Hilo, and the rental car was also cheaper at the Hilo airport. So we just decided to stay there. And another thing, there's only a few hotels here, but they were cheaper as well than Kona. And as you can see, the hotel is right on the ocean. It's on kind of like a bay, and there's just a lot of lava rock around with tide pools, and they have a swimming pool, but it was really cold, but still a nice pool. And this is a park near our hotel. It's just a giant banyan tree. It's right on the water, and we just randomly stopped there. And then we got shave ice, which was delicious. This little gecko also loved it. Then we visited Rainbow Falls, which doesn't have an entrance fee, so that's nice. And then we took the hike to Greensand Beach, which is a 2.5 mile hike each way, I think, but it's worth the trip. It's one of the only beaches in the world that has green sand. And if you can't do the hike, they do have a taxi service, or you could drive your Jeep out there if you're really daring. We only hiked one way and then took the shuttle to get back. And then this is South Point, which is a really popular cliff jumping spot. It's the most southern point in the United States. We didn't jump, but it was still really fun to see, and the water was crystal clear and it looked so nice. And these clips are from Akaka Falls State Park, which has a really nice little hike down to a tall waterfall. And you do have an entrance fee at this park. I can't remember exactly what it is, but you might want to look it up because it wasn't super cheap. But it was this amazing hike through a jungle. That is a huge banyan tree that we got a picture with. I love it. And then this waterfall is just really tall. And then we went to the Kona side of the island. We got those tacos, I don't remember when, but then we went for a manta ray snorkel, which was, you have to be there at night, and then when the sun goes down, you get in the water to swim with manta rays. You hold on to that board, and then they turn on lights to attract the plankton because the manta rays eat the plankton, and they'll just swim under you. They'll do like flips and just circle around, and it was really cool. It was definitely like one of the coolest things I've ever done, and I highly recommend it. It wasn't actually that expensive. Swimming with manta rays has been on my bucket list for a really long time. I was kind of scared initially, but it's really not that scary. The only thing is, it is kind of cold being in the water at night, so I recommend you bring like a rash guard to go under your wetsuit because they did give us wetsuits. And this is from Volcanoes National Park. We visited two separate times, just for like a few hours each time. I can't remember the names of the craters, but this is the one where you can actually see like red lava, and it was pretty far away, but it was really cool to see. I remember I saw red lava when I visited Hawaii like 11 years ago or something, and we flew over it in a helicopter, and it was really cool. And then this is the trail to the Thurston lava tube. You see this other crater, which is a really incredible view, and you hike down this trail that has like a really dense jungle. It was so cool. And this is the inside of the lava tube. You don't really need a flashlight because it's lit up, but it was fun to walk through it. This is Black Sand Beach that we went to. It's one of the more popular black sand beaches, and this is a good spot to see sea turtles because they're very often laying out like they are here. And then on another day, we went to the north side of the island to do a hike and do some other things. We saw that pretty rainbow, and then we stopped really quickly at the King Kamehameha statue. We got this really tasty pizza right across the street from it. It was really good and pretty cheap for Hawaii. And then we went to the Pololu Valley Lookout. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'll put the name of it. And it's a really fun hike. I remember doing it a long time ago when I went to Hawaii. But you just hike down this mountain to another black sand beach, and you can see like the coastline, which is very like cliffy and rugged. And then another morning we had to be back in Kona again. We did go to Kona several times from Hilo, but we had a 4 hour long catamaran excursion. You just ride the catamaran, they show you some sights, and then you have a snorkeling like session for about an hour by the Captain Cook Monument, and that was really cool. We saw that sea turtle and we saw tons of fish, including a couple of rainbow fish and angelfish and some other ones which I don't know the name of because I don't know all the fish, but it was really fun. It's definitely a good place to snorkel in Hawaii. I know the Big Island is really good for snorkeling compared to like other places in Hawaii. And then on the way back, we saw a bunch of spinner dolphins just jumping around and riding by the bow of the boat, which was really fun. I love when dolphins do that. It's just fun to look down and see them. And this is a beach that we visited 3 separate times. It's a state park beach that's a part of Kua Bay. I'll write the name of it like on this video because I can't pronounce it, but it's a really good spot for swimming because the water's super clear and blue and it's kind of gradual, so there's not just like a big drop off or anything, but it's just a really fun spot. There's not a lot of like room for your towel on the sand, but it's really pretty beach. And then for the last night of our trip, we had to get a different hotel because we later on added an extra night. But this is the SCP Hotel, which was pretty nice. It was more expensive than the Grand Naniloa, but it seemed like a nice hotel and I would have liked to stay here longer. They have this giant koi pond out front. And then we went through this like farmers market in downtown Hilo on our last day. There's a giant fruit mural on the wall right here, and that's what's in the intro of this video. But it's a really fun spot. And then we went to the Kaumana Caves, which you do need a flashlight for because it's not very like touristy. But those are also fun to explore. We were only there for maybe an hour or something because we had to catch our flight, which did end up being canceled anyway. And then lastly, we just stopped at this Japanese garden that was really close to our hotels. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.